Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome back to our Chaitanya Charitamrita session. We will be continuing from Antya Lila 16th chapter, 15th verse onwards. Antya Lila 16.15 onwards. I'll share my screen. 1 minute. Oh, Krishna. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, you are able to see my screen?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So we were discussing about, means we already discussed how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during his pastimes towards the end at Jagannath Puri, was exhibiting deep symptoms of love of God. That is, he was deeply in the mood of Srimati Radharani, being in viraha or separation from Lord Shri Krishna. So day and night, day and night, day and night, he was consciously crying for Krishna. And even the associates were able to see it externally, because Lord Chaitanya exhibited bodily transformations also. And so the devotees, especially Ramanand Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami, who were none other than Vishaka and Lalita Sakhi, were in constant association with Lord Chaitanya, because they were concerned that Lord Chaitanya may harm his body actually, because he was getting too much into deep ecstatic emotions. So these were the discussions that were happening. So in the course of discussion, we came up onto a devotee called Kalidasa, who was not a Brahmana by birth, but he was a very great Vaishnava. So his constant routine or constant habit or constant devotional service which he had put for himself is to take remnants from other Vaishnavas. So he was consciously doing this, and once he comes to another extraordinary devotee called Jhadu Thakur. This Jhadu Thakur was not a Brahman by birth as well. So he comes to Jhadu Thakur's house, and so we were discussing on that Leela, that how Kalidasa gets the remnants of Jhadu Thakur and his wife. So we were continuing from 16.15. Gandhimati Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Gandhimati Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Gandhimati Mataji, is it?
I read Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hamra beta diya tanra charana vandila tanra patni re tabe namaskara kaila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation Kalidasa presented the mangoes to Jatu Thakura and offered him respectful obeisances. Then he also offered respectful obeisances to the Thakura's wife. Hare Krishna.
So Kalidasa had collected mangoes, and he brought those mangoes to the house of Jhadu Thakura, and he offered it to them. Mataji, next one.
16.6. Patni Sahita Teno Achena Vasya Bahu Sammana Kaila Kalidasera Dekiya. Translation: when Kalidasa went to Jatu Thakura, he saw that saintly person sitting with his wife. As soon as Jatu Thakura saw Kalidasa, he likewise offered his respectful obeisances unto him.
So Kalidasa and Jhadu Thakura and Jhadu Thakura's wife, all were great devotees. So on seeing Kalidasa at their home, Jhadu Thakura and his wife, they offered obeisances to Kalidasa. Mataji, next one.
16.17. Ista Gosti Kataksana Kari Tandre Sane Jatu Thakura Kahe Tandre Madhura. Translation:
Vachane, Madhura Vachane.
Sorry, Mataji. Translation: after a discussion with Kalidasa that lasted For some time, Jatu Thakura spoke the following sweet words. Hare Krishna.
So, both of them will discuss it. Mataji, next.
16.18 Ami nicha jati tumi atiti sarvotama kon prakare karimu ami tomara sevana. Translation: I belong to a low caste and you are a very respectful guest. How shall I serve you?
So this is Jadu Thakur telling to Kalidas. Next one, Mataji.
16.19 Anya deha brahmana gare analana diya tahan tumi prasada payo pavo tabe ami jiye. Translation: If you will permit me, I shall send some food to a brahmana's house and there you may take prasadam. If you do so, I shall then live very comfortably. Hare Krishna.
So now what has happened is Kalidasa is from Brahmana caste. I'm not too sure. Jadu Thakur was not. So Kalidasa had come to Jadu Thakur's house, and Jadu Thakur was like, they were talking for some time, and he offered respects and all that. Now he wants to offer him some prasad, but then he's considering himself a lower caste, and he is thinking that how will I offer food that is cooked in our house to Kalidasa? So he's telling, I will send some food, means some raw materials to another Brahmana's house, and then they will cook and offer you. Please accept it. That way it will be like I have offered you something and I want it to, because I really want to serve you. Please accept it. Like that, Jadu Thakura is expressing his thought or his love to Kalidasa. Mataji, next one.
16.20 Kalidasa kahe Thakura kripa kare more tomara darshane hainu muyi patita pamare. Translation: Kalidasa replied, My dear sir, please bestow your mercy upon me. I have come to see you, although I am very fallen and sinful. Hare Krishna.
So that is the very highest quality of Vaishnavas, that they all actually feel that they are fallen. It is not that they want to make it a show about it, but they actually feel that they are fallen. So Kalidasa is feeling he is fallen, and Jadu Thakur is feeling he is fallen. So Kalidasa is like, I have come to see you. Although you are a great Vaishnava, I have come to see you, take your association. Although I am personally fallen and sinful, and I am going. It's done. It's okay. You don't have to give me anything. Like that, he moves on. Shobha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam Mataji, Krishnaj Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai, text 21. Pavitra Hayinu Mui Payinu Dasana Kritata Hayinu Mora Sapala Jivana. Synonyms translation purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: Simply by seeing you, I have become purified. I am very much obliged to you, for my life is now successful.
So Kalidasa is saying, no need of giving me anything. Simply by seeing you, I am very happy. My life is successful. Please. Like that he says. Mataji, next.
Text 22. Eka vancha haya yadi krupakari kara pada raja deha pada mora mate dhara. Translation: My dear sir, I have one desire. Please be merciful to me by kindly placing your feet upon my head so that the dust on your feet may touch it.
Oh, this was actually we can't understand, because for us what happens, our heart is not simple only. That is our problem. Here, honestly, Kalidasa is wanting the dust of Jadu Thakur, and he is like, please place your feet on my head so that I get that dust. That's my only desire. Like that, he expresses himself. Mataji, next one.
23. Thakura kahe aiche bata kahite na yuyaya ami nicha jadi tumi sujana raya. Translation: Jadu Thakura replied, It does not befit you to ask this of me. I belong to a very low caste family, whereas you are a respectable, rich gentleman.
So Jadu Thakur is feeling very awkward because he is from a lower caste, and what is he telling? Kalidas is such a great Vaishnava. He is asking, by hearing only, he is feeling uncomfortable. Like, no, please don't tell all that. Like that. Mataji, next one.
Text 24. Tabe Kalidasa shloka padi sunaila Suni Jadu Takurera Bada Suka Haila. Translation: Kalidasa then recited some verses, which Jadu Takura was very happy to hear.
So Vaishnavas are constantly talking about Bhagavad and Bhagavad Gita and all the verses, so that that is they are just living with the verses. So that is the next verse. Mataji, next one.
Text 25. Name bhaktas chaturvedi madbhaktaha svapachaha priyaha tasmai teyam tato grahyam chachacha pujyo yathahi aham. Translation: even though one is a very learned scholar in Sanskrit literature, if he is not engaged in pure devotional service, he is not acceptable as my devotee. But if someone born in a family of dog eaters is a pure devotee with no motives for enjoyment through fruitive activity or mental speculation, he is very dear to me. All respect should be given to him, and whatever he offers should be accepted. For such devotee, or indeed as worshipable as I am. Purport.
So
This
yes.
spoken
Read,
by
read.
Supreme Personality of Godhead is found in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa. Hari Bol. Thank
So
you,
my
Mata.
Lord says that even though one is learned, but if he is not engaged in devotional service, he is not accepted as my devotee. But he is from a Chandala caste, but who has a pure heart and renders devotional service in very sincerely, then he should be respected as a very topmost devotee. So this is the verdict of the Supreme Lord. So like that, Jadu Thakura is expressing, is referring this verse to Kalidasa is referring this verse to Jadu Thakur, telling that you don't feel that you are a low caste. This is what the verdict of the Supreme Lord is. Rekha Rangam Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Today continue, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
She is not there. Rekha Mataji is not there.
I'm here, Mataji. Am I audible?
Yes. 1626. Yes, I thought. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Text 26. Vipradvisa gunayuta aravinda nabha padaravinda vimukhat swapacham varishtham manyeta mano vachane hitartha pranam punati sakulam natu bhuri mana. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Mataji, should I say Prabhupada or Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj?
Anything. No problem. No problem.
A person may be born in a Brahmana family and have all 12 Brahmanical qualities. But if in spite of being qualified, he is not devoted to the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, who has a navel shaped like a lotus, he is not as good as a Chandala who has dedicated his mind, words, activities, wealth, and life to the service of the Lord. Simply to take birth in a Brahmana family or to have Brahminical qualities is not sufficient. One must become a pure devotee of the Lord. If a Swapacha or Chandala is a devotee, he delivers not only himself but his whole family. Whereas a Brahmana who is not a devotee but simply has Brahminical qualifications cannot even purify himself. What to speak of his family? This and the following verse are quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.10 and 3.33.7.
So the previous verse from Hari Bhakti Vilasa and this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Basically, both tell the same thing that a Chandala can be a devotee and he delivers himself as well as his entire generation. But even if somebody is born in a Brahmana family and is not devoted or is not rendering devotional service, is not a devotee of the Supreme Lord, then that does not make that does not add to any benefit. That is what Lord is telling. That is a verdict of the same thing in various scriptures. That was Hari Bhakta Vilas, this was Srimad Bhagavatam, and this current verse is also from Srimad Bhagavatam. Mataji, read 27.
Text 27. Aho bata swapacho Ato gariyan yajjihvagre vartate namatubhyam te pustapaste juhuhu shashnurarya brahmano nama grinnanti yeto. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation: My dear Lord, anyone who always keeps your holy name on his tongue is greater than an initiated Brahmana. Although he may be born in a family of dog eaters and therefore, by material calculations, be the lowest of men, he is glorious nevertheless. That is the wonderful power of chanting the holy name of the Lord. One who chants the holy name is understood to have performed all kinds of austerities. He has studied all the Vedas. He has performed all the great sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas, and he has already taken his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. It is he who is factually the Aryan.
So this is also referring to here specifically it is mention of the chanting of the holy names. That is one who chants the holy names. He is a very exalted devotee, and not just by being born in a Brahmana family and not chanting the holy names. The previous was rendering devotional service. Essentially, a devotee is one can qualify himself as a devotee when he renders devotional service to Supreme Lord, when he chants the holy names, when he serves the Vaishnavas, when he serves the Supreme Lord. When these are the activities done, then he can be considered as a devotee, irrespective of whichever caste he has been born. Mataji, next one, 28.
28. Tuni Thakura kahe shastra ye satya kaya se shrestha aiche yante Krishna bhakti haya. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hearing these quotations from the revealed scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam, Jhadu Thakura replied, Yes, this is true, for it is the version of Shastra. It is true, however, for one who is genuinely advanced in devotion to Krishna.
So this is the humility of Jadu Thakur. He is like, yes, I am not contradicting the Shastras. I completely agree that Shastra says that. But the point is, I am not that qualified devotee which the Shastra is referring to. It is only to those kind of qualified devotees. Like that he says. Mataji, next one.
Text 29. Ami nicha jati amara nahi Krishna bhakti anya aiche haya amaya nahi aiche shakti. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Such a position may befit others, but I do not possess such spiritual power. I belong to a lower class and have not even a pinch of devotion to Krishna. Purport. In his statement, Jadu Thakura represents himself as being born in a low caste family and not having the qualifications of a bona fide devotee of Lord Krishna. He accepts the statements of declaring a low-born person highly exalted if he is a Vaishnava. However, he feels that these descriptions from Srimad Bhagavatam appropriately describe others, but not himself. Jadu Thakura's attitude is quite befitting a real Vaishnava, for a Vaishnava never considers himself exalted, even if he factually is. He is always meek and humble and never thinks that he is an advanced devotee. He assigns himself to a lower position, but that does not mean he is indeed low. Sanatana Goswami once said that he belonged to a low caste family, for although he was born in a Brahmana family, he had associated with Mlechas and Yavanas in his service as a government minister. Similarly, Jadu Thakura presented himself as someone who belonged to a low caste, but he was actually elevated above many persons born in Brahmana families. Not only in there is there evidence for this in Srimad Bhagavatam as quoted by Kalidasa in verses 26 and 27, but There is also considerable evidence for this conclusion in other Shastras. For example, in the Mahabharata, Vanaparva, chapter 177, verse 20, it is stated, Shudre tu yad bhavel lakshma द्विजे तच्च न विद्यते न वै शूद्रो भवेत् शूद्रो ब्राह्मणो न च ब्राह्मणः. If someone born a Shudra possesses the characteristics of a Brahmana and someone born a Brahmana does not, that Shudra should not be known as a Shudra and that Brahmana should not be known as a Brahmana. Similarly, in the Vanaparva chapter 203 verses 11 and 12, it is said, Shudrayo now hi jatasya sa gunanupatishtatha ajave vartamanasya brahmanam abhijayate. If a person born in a Shudra family has developed the qualities of a Brahmana such as Satya, truthfulness, Sama, peacefulness, Dama, self-control, and Arjava, simplicity, he attains the exalted position of a Brahmana. And in the Anushasana Parva, chapter 163, it is said, Stito Brahmana
You read
Dharme.
the translation, Mataji, translation.
Okay. If one is factually situated in the occupation of a Brahmana, he must be considered a Brahmana. Even if a Brahmana is a Kshatriya, in a Kshatriya or a Vaishya family, oh Devi, even if one is born a Shudra, if he is actually engaged in the occupation and pure behavior of a Brahmana, he becomes a Brahmana. Moreover, a Vaishya can become a Kshatriya. Therefore, neither the source of one's birth nor his reformation nor his education is the criterion of a Brahmana. The vritta or occupation is the real standard by which one is known as a Brahmana. We have seen that a person who is not the son of a doctor and has not attended a medical college is sometimes able to practice medicine by practical knowledge of how to perform a surgical operation, how to mix medicine and how to give certain medicines for certain diseases. A person can receive a certificate and be registered as a personal practitioner in the practical field. He can do a medical man's work and he be known as a doctor. Although qualified medical men may consider him a quack, the government will recognize his work, especially in India. There are many such doctors who perform their medical services perfectly. They are accepted even by the government. Similarly, if one is engaged in Brahminical service or occupational duties, he must be considered a Brahmana despite the family in which he is born. That is the verdict of all the Shastras. In Srimad Bhagavatam 7.11.35, it is stated.
You read the translation.
Yes, Mataji, yes. This is a statement by Narada Muni to Maharaj Yudhishthira, wherein Narada says that the symptoms of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya are all described in the Shastra. Therefore, if one is found exhibiting the symptoms of and qualities of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya and serving in a Brahminical Kshatriya or Vaishya occupation, even if he is not born a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, he should be considered such according to his qualifications and occupation. Similarly, in Padma Purana, it is said, a devotee should never be considered as Shudra. All the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be recognized as Bhagavatas. If one is not a devotee of Lord Krishna, however, even if born in a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya family, he should be considered a Shudra. In the Padma Purana, it is also said if a person born in a Brahmana family is an Avaishnava, a non-devotee, one should not see his face exactly as one should not look upon the face of a Chandala or dog eater. However, a Vaishnava found in Varnas other than Brahmana can purify all the three worlds.
We'll go to the next one. We will go to the next one, Mataji.
Okay, next.
So basically, what Prabhupada is putting across in the purpose is references of various scriptures which says that a devotee's qualification is not based on his caste. One thing, and second thing, a person is qualified as a particular, as a Brahmana, Vaishya, or Kshatriya or Shudra based on his qualifications and based on his occupation and not by his birth. So these two things through references through various scriptures, it has been because it is such an important thing that it is even this is 500 years back, even to this day, even though it is not maybe a major thing, because in previous ages caste was such an important thing because everybody would consider, would be recognized by caste only. Nowadays it's not so much, but nonetheless we cannot say, at least in India, that caste is not considered at all. People do consider even now. So this has been so much emphasized by Prabhupada by referring to different scriptures, telling that it is not just one scriptures across the Vedic literatures. This part has been proclaimed that a person is not recognized by his caste or by his birth. It is he is recognized by his qualifications and his occupation. So if a person born in any caste, any background, any country, any religion, any region, he is born, but he is engaged in Lord's devotional service, engaged in the service of the Vaishnavas, engaged in chanting the holy names of the Lord, having complete faith in the Supreme Lord, is considered as a topmost devotee, and there is no second thought about this. This has been emphasized by Prabhupada through his purpose. Mataji, next one.
Text 30. Tare namaskari Kalidasa Vidayama Gila Jhadu Thakura Tabe Tandra Anubraji Aila. Kalidasa again offered his obeisances to Jhadu Thakura and asked his permission to go. The saint Jhadu Thakura followed him as he left.
So these are the deep discussions between Kalidas and Jhadu Thakura. Jhadu Thakura wants to serve Kalidas and Kalidas wants to get dust from Jhadu Thakura. Both are eager to serve each other. And now Jhadu Thakura wanted to serve him prasad, but then he was not very sure about it. And Kalidas says, no need any prasad. And he just leaves. And Jhadu Thakura goes to the door and he tells him bye-bye like that. Next one is Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavats.
Tandre vidaya kriya takura yadi ghare aila Tandra charana chishna yei thani phadila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After bidding farewell to Kalidasa, Jhadu Thakur returned to his home, leaving the marks of his feet plainly visible in many places.
The next one.
Sei dhulilana Kalidasa sarvange lepila Tandra nikhat eka stane lukhana rahila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kalidasa smeared the dust from those footprints all over his body. Then he hid in a place near Jhadu Thakur's home.
So what happened is Kalidasa was going, Jhadu Thakur went out, and then Kalidasa goes away, and Jhadu Thakur comes back home. Once he comes back home, those footprints which were outside the door were still visible. And Kalidasa goes and just touches puts his head, takes that dust, puts all over his body, and he actually feels very ecstatic. And after doing that, he hits in a place behind Jhadu Thakur's home. Next.
Jhadu Thakura ghara yai dekhi amara phala Manase Krishna Chandre Arpila Sakhala. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Upon returning home, Jhadu Thakur saw the mangoes Kalidasa had presented. Within his mind, he offered them to Krishna Chandra.
So now Jhadu Thakur, Kalidasa while going to Jhadu Thakur's home had taken mangoes. So Jhadu Thakur offers it to the Supreme Lord. Next one, Mati.
Kalara patuya kola haite amara niskasiya Tandra patni tandre dena kayena chushiya. Jadu, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jadu Thakur's wife then took the mangoes from their covering of banana tree leaves and bark and offered them to Jadu Thakur, who began to suck and eat them.
So then what happened is now my husband and wife are eating that mangoes. Now, how we eat mangoes? Mangoes is not something that we cut and like put it from in the mouth from far. Nicely they were eating on the skin and on the what is that? What you call the seed, and they were licking the mango. Mango nicely to be eaten means it should be done all that. So like that, Jadu Thakur and his wife nicely ate the mangoes. Next one.
Chushi chushi chosha anti pelila patu yate tare ka ho yana tandra patni kaya pashyate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When he finished eating, he left the seeds on the banana leaf, and his wife, after feeding her husband, later began to eat.
So husband ate, wife ate, everybody ate the mangoes. Next one, Sumati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams.
Dandavats.
आंठी चोषा से पाटुया खोला ते भरिया बाहिरे उच्चिष्टा गर्ते पेलाई लालाया. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After she finished eating, she filled the banana leaves and bark with the seeds, picked up the refuse, and then threw it into the ditch where all the refuse was thrown.
See, outside their house, they had a, what you say, garbage pit. We can say, what you say nowadays, organic pit maybe they had. So here they ate, husband ate, wife ate, they ate nicely the mangoes, they licked the seeds, they licked the skin, then everything else on the banana leaf they ate. Then she nicely wrapped it and she threw it, that garbage pit. Next one, Mataji.
सेई खोला आंधी चौकाला चूषे कालिदासा चूषिते हया प्रेमे ते उल्लासा. Translation: Kalidasa licked the banana bark and the mango seeds and skins, and while licking them, he was overwhelmed with jubilation in ecstatic love.
See, something which we really cannot understand. For us, nice prasad if it gives, we are so much engrossed in sense gratification that devotional thing and so much does not come. But sometimes we are very merciful to the Lord. The Lord gave me nice prasad. Thank you so much. Like that, we may tell. But this is not like that. This is something which is much beyond our limited brains. At least my limited brains, I can say. That is, it is licked and all the mango is already eaten. And it has been thrown. He has picked it up and he's licking on that same mango seed and mango skin and he's feeling ecstasy. So this is the truth. This is how actually devotional service is. This is how the consciousness is. We know the ideal. We are somewhere. Let's aspire. Like that it is. 38.
एयि माता याता वैष्णवा वैसे गौड़ा देशे कालिदासा aiche sabara nila avasheshe. Translation: In this way, Kalidasa ate the remnants of food left by all the Vaishnavas residing in Bengal.
So this was the daily routine of Kalidas. He goes to a big Vaishnava, gives them some bhoga, they will eat, then they leave their remnants, he goes and takes the remnants. This was his daily routine. 39.
सेई कालिदासया बे नीला चले आईला महाप्रभु तारा upara mahakrupa kaila. Translation: When Kalidasa visited Jagannath Puri, Nilachala, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed great mercy upon him.
See, now Lord Chaitanya is the supreme personality of Godhead, the Paramatma in everybody's heart. He knows Jagadu Thakur in and out. And when Kalidasa, when Kalidasa comes to Nilachala Jagannath Puri, he gets special mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Next one.
Pratidina Prabhu yadi yaya darashane jala karanga laya govinda yaya Prabhu sane. Translation: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would regularly visit the temple of Jagannatha every day, and at that time Govinda, his personal servant, used to carry his water pot and go with him.
So this
Hare
was the
Krishna.
daily routine of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishnamurti Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Dandot pranams Prabhuji.
सिंहद्वारेर उत्तर दिके कपतेर आदे बाईस पांच ताले आचे एक निम्न गादे. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. On the northern side of the Simhadwara, behind the door, there are 22 steps leading to the temple, and at the bottom of those steps is a ditch.
So if we have gone to Jagannath Puri, that 22 steps is clearly visible even now. That is when we enter the Simhadwara. But below that there is a ditch. That much I don't remember now. Mataji Prabhuji, next one.
Sei gade karena Prabhu pada prakashalane tabe kari bare yava Ishvara darshane. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would wash his feet in this ditch, and then he would enter the temple to see Lord Jagannatha.
This was Lord's routine. He will go to the Simhadwara, climb the 22 steps, go to that corner, wash his feet, and goes up. This was Lord was doing always. Prabhuji, next one.
Govindere Mahaprabhu Kirache Niyama Mora Pada Jalayena Nalaya Kona Jana. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered his personal servant Govinda that no one should take the water that had washed his feet.
So what happened is there were some people who wanted to drink water from wash the feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he had clearly ordered Govinda that this nobody should do. So that was a strict rule, and everybody knew that Mahaprabhu does not like it, and nobody was daring to drink that water. Next one, Prabhuji.
Prani matra layi tena paya se jala antaranga bhakta laya kari kona chala. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Because of the Lord's strict order, no living being could take the water. Some of his intimate devotees, however, would take it by some trick.
So this is everywhere it is following that sometimes devotees out of trick they take, but otherwise that's the standard rule. So everybody was very strict in following that. Prabhuji, next.
Ekadina Prabhu Tanha Pada Prakshalite Kalidasa Asitaha Patilane Hate. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. One day, yes, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was washing his feet. In that place, Kalidasa came and extended his palm to take the water.
So one day what happens is Mahaprabhu has come and he was washing his feet, and there is Kalidasa. He has put his hand like that. Everybody is scared because everybody knows that Mahaprabhu does not like it, and everybody is following that rule. But now Kalidasa has put his hand. Now nobody has raised their hand. Krishnamurti Prabhuji, you continue.
Eka Anjali Dui Anjali Tina Anjali Pila Tabe Mahaprabhu Tanre Nishedha Karila. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Kalidasa drank one palmful and then a second and a third. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forbade him to drink more.
But he allowed him to drink 3 palmfuls because he knows the consciousness of Kalidasa. Kalidasa is ready to eat anybody's remnant. So Mahaprabhu was so merciful, he gave his foot wash also. Otherwise, for us means we want Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's foot wash, we are ready to drink. But we may not be ready to drink others or whatever they are eaten and thrown, and that we are not getting interested to lick on that food. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's foot wash is there, even we would put our hand. So Mahaprabhu does not allow anybody. But when it comes to Kalidasa, he knows the sincerity of Kalidasa, and so he allowed him to drink 3 palmfuls of his foot wash. Mata Prabhuji, next one.
Atahara arana kariha punara bhara etavata vancha purana karilan tomara. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Do not act in this way once anymore. I have fulfilled your desire as far as possible.
So he knew the heart of the Kalidasa, and he says, I have fulfilled it as much as possible. Don't try for more, like that. Next.
सर्वज्ञ शिरोमणि चैतन्य ईश्वर वैष्णवे तन्हर विश्व जानेन अनंतर अंतरा. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most exalted, omniscient, supreme personality of Godhead, and therefore he knew that Kalidasa, in the core of his heart, had full faith in Vaishnavas.
Hari, next one.
Sei gunalana prabhu tanre tusta haila anyera durlabha prasada tan hare karila. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Because of this quality, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu satisfied him with mercy not attainable by anyone else.
Because he had this sincere heart, Mahaprabhu satisfied his core desire. Because he was eating the remnant. He really wanted one day to drink the foot wash of Lord Chaitanya, and it was fulfilled. Prabhuji 50, last one.
Upara Dakshina Dike Eka Narsimha Murti Achena Utita Vama Bhage. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. On the southern side, behind and above the 22 steps, is a deity of Lord Narasimha Deva. It is on the left as one goes up the steps towards the temple.
Sumati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. प्रतिदिन तारे प्रभु करे न नमस्कारा नमस्कारी ए श्लोक पढ़े भारा भारा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his left side towards the deity, offered obeisances to Lord Narasimha as he proceeded towards the temple. He recited the following verses again and again while offering obeisances.
Actually, in Jagannath Puri, inside the temple, right now, I know two Narasimha deities. One is Adi Narasimha and one is Ugra Narasimha. That Ugra Narasimha deity is on the western gate, and that is his tall deity, as well as he is on the higher position. Like means when it's like lot of steps you have to climb inside the temple only, and there the Lord Ugra Narasimha is situated. Adi Narasimha is more smaller, and it is in the ground level. And it is also there near that the mandapam is there, no? In Jagannath temple. It is there. Now, which Narasimha they are referring? Let's see if we can come to know. Next one, Mataji.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahladahdayine Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha Shilathanka Nakalaye. Translation. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, Lord Narasimha Deva. You are the giver of pleasure to Maharaja Prahlada, and your nails cut the chest of Hiranyakashipu like a chisel cutting stone. Purport. This and the following verse are quoted from the Narasimha Purana. Hare Krishna. Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimho Yato Yami Tato Narasimha Bahir Narasimho Hridaye Narasimho Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapadye. Translation. Lord Narasimha Deva is here and he is also there on the opposite side. Wherever I go, there I see Lord Narasimha Deva. He is outside and within my heart. Therefore, I take shelter of Lord Narasimha Deva, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So this Prabhupada has picked up these verses, and in all ISKCON temples, at least 3 times it is sung actually. Mataji, next.
Tabe Prabhu Karila Jagannatha Darashana Gare Asi Madhyana Karila Bojana. Translation. Having offered obeisances to Lord Narasimha Deva, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the temple of Lord Jagannatha. Then he returned to his residence, finished his noon duties and took his lunch.
Next one.
Bahir Dware Ache Kalidasa Pratyasha Kariya Govindere Thare Prabhu Kahe na Janiya. Translation. Kalidasa was standing outside the door, expecting the remnants of food from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Knowing this, Mahaprabhu gave an indication to Govinda.
Mahaprabhu took darshan and goes to take prasad, and there outside the window is Kalidasa waiting for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's remnants. And Mahaprabhu gives an indication to Govinda. Next one, Mataji.
Mahaprabhura Ingita Govinda Sabajani Kalidasera Dila Prabhura Shesha Patra Dani. Translation: Govinda understood all the indications of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, he immediately delivered the remnants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's food to Kalidasa.
So immediately Mahaprabhu says, Allah gave permission, told Govinda, give my remnants to Kalidasa, like that. Next one.
Vaishnavera Shesha Bhakshanera Ete Kamahima Kalidase Pao Yaila Prabhura Kripasima. Translation: taking the remnants of the food of Vaishnavas is so valuable that it induced Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to offer Kalidasa his supreme mercy.
Jai. Next one.
ताथे वैष्णवेरा झूठा खाओ छाड़ी घृणा लाजा यहाँ हाइते पाइबा निजा वांछिता साबा काजा. Translation: therefore, giving up hatred and hesitation, try to eat the remnants of the food of Vaishnavas, for you will thus be able to achieve your desired goal of life.
Jai Haribol. We should not trouble anybody. We are not on that level, but definitely, at least we should really try. Hare Krishna. Next one.
Krishnera Uchishta Haya Mahaprasada Nama Bhakta Shesha Haile Maha Khyana. Translation: the remnants of food offered to Lord Krishna are called Mahaprasadam. After this same Mahaprasadam has been taken by a devotee, the remnants are elevated to Mahaprasadam.
Jai. What
Jai.
happened? 1 second. Okay. Next one.
Yes. Bhakta Pada Dhuliyara Bhakta Pada Jala Bhakta Bhukta Avashesha Tinna Mahabala. Translation: the dust of the feet of a devotee, the water that has washed the feet of a devotee, and the remnants of food left by a devotee are three very powerful substances.
Jai, this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam. These are really with the conscious, they have the right consciousness. It can really purify our consciousness and take us to a very much higher degree of devotional service. Nobody raised their hand. Mataji, you continue.
Yes, Mataji. Eitina seva haite Krishna prema haya punah punah sarva shastre pukari akaya. Translation: by rendering service to these three, one attains the supreme goal of ecstatic love for Krishna. In all the revealed scriptures, this is loudly declared again and again.
It is dust of the lotus feet of the Vaishnava, the food remnants of the lotus of the mouth of the Vaishnavas, and the water washed the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. These are very powerful. But we should have the right consciousness to accept it. Next one.
साथे बारा भारा कही शुन भक्त गणा विश्वास करिया करा एतिना सेवना. Translation: therefore, my dear devotees, please hear from me, for I insist again and again, please keep faith in these three and render service to them without hesitation.
Jai. Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat.
Dandavat.
Tina haite Krishna Nama Premara Ullasa Krishnera Prasada Tate Sakshi Kali Dhasa. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. From these three, one achieves the highest goal of life, ecstatic love of Krishna. This is the greatest mercy of Lord Krishna. The evidence is Kalidasa himself.
Prema, Krishna is Prema Pumartho Mahan. Krishna Prema. Every day we chant, we want Krishna Prema. That Kalidasa got. How did he get? By simply accepting the remnants of the Vaishnavas with great faith and feeling. Next one. Next one, Mataji. What happened?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, yes.
Because of internet.
Nope. Okay, I think some issue is there. नीलाचले महाप्रभु रही मते Kalidase Mahakrupa Kaila Alakshite. In this way, Mahaprabhu remained at Jagannath Puri Nilachala and invisibly bestowed great mercy on Kalidasa. Throughout his stay in Nilachala, Kalidas continued to receive mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sevatsara Swati Mataji, read.
Mataji. Sevatsara Shivananda Patni Lana Aila Puri Dasa Chota Putre Sangite Anila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That year, Shivananda Sena brought with him his wife and youngest son Puri Dasa.
So they come for Rath Yatra festival. No, that day he brought. Next one.
Putra Sangelana Tenho Aila Prabhu Stane Putre Re Kara Ila Prabhura Charana Vandane. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Taking his son, Shivananda Sena went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at his residence. He made his son offer respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of the Lord.
Puridasa offered obeisances to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Next one.
Krishna kaha bali Prabhu bale na bhara bhara tabu Krishna nama bhalaka na kare uchara. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Again and again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the boy to chant the name of Krishna, but the boy would not utter the holy name.
Next one.
Shivananda Bhalakere Bahu Yatna Karila Tabu Sei Bhalaka Krishna Nama Nakhahila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Although Shivananda Sena tried with much endeavor to get his boy to speak Krishna's holy name, the boy would not utter it.
Sometimes it happens to children. Helu, tell. Child will not open his mouth only. See, we are talking mundane things, but at that time, that was a special thing that happened. Puridasa did not tell. Mataji, next one.
Prabhu kahe ami nama jagat alo ailun stavare prayanta Krishna stavare paryanta Krishna nama kahaliyun. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I have induced the whole world to take the holy name of Krishna. I have induced even the trees and immovable plants to chant the holy name.
We know in Jharikanda forest, even the animals were chanting. Read. Next.
Ihare narilun Krishna nama kahite suniya swarupa gosani lagila kahite. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But I would not induce this boy to chant the holy name of Krishna. Hearing this, Swarup Damodara Goswami began to speak.
No, but Mahaprabhu is telling, but Puridasa he is not telling. How much ever I'm telling, I'm not able to induce him. And Swarup Damodar Prabhu Goswami gives the purport for that. Okay, with that we stop here. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhupada ki jai. Pancha
Hare Krishna.
kalpataru kripa sindhu vaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti vaishnavvranda ke jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, that Simha Dwara, no, Mataji, that is the main entrance, no, Mataji, where water flows in the entrance and we have to go inside.
Yes.
There will be a black stone which we have to step.
Yes,
no? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranamam.
Dandavat.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranamam.
Dandavat Pranamam.